Hey everybody, it's Friday morning. Well, actually Friday afternoon. Welcome, Fridays with DDubs. Not a lot to talk about today. I wanted to apologize for not uploading a video last week. I was really busy with some random life stuff. Um, yeah. So, just gonna hang out today. I just recently read Taiyo Matsumoto's Ping Pong. I don't know if anybody has checked this out. It's pretty incredible. Check out the cover design on. It's just really. I don't know who designed this, but it's really fun to look at. I didn't know what this was until I saw it being. I saw like maybe a few images of it on social media, and just the design of this page made me really excited. But there are things about this, the way that Matsumoto does things. I'm a big fan of the clarity that's here in this panel. And immediately, I'm pretty sure this is a scene change in the book, but it's dynamic because there's such flavor to the lines, and it's clear. So you have best of both worlds, which is it's cool to see. So we have a 1, 2, 3. So we have 1 setting the scene, high shot. 2 medium, kind of a flavor of the scene that we're inhabiting, and then 3 on one of the main characters of the story, with kind of an introduction to what they're actually doing. So you get the scene, flavor, character. 1, 2, 3, and there's a million ways to go about showing a new scene, but I just really like the way he did this. And, I really like the kind of squiggle here. It's very flavorful, these lines, and I love the way he's blurring things. There's like multiple ways to blur stuff. This is kind of a low-res image, but you can tell that Matsumoto's just basically drawing the outline, and then he does these like extra just lines over it. I personally like to actually squiggle the whole arm. I feel like that looks really cool. He did that a little bit with the paddle, but it's just kind of the way he does it, and it's not bad. It's just interesting to note the differences. Another thing that I wanted to highlight is, notice the way that he's using the background to kind of point to the characters. It's just making the scene very intense. And they're basically speed lines, but they're actually part of the background. So, it's a good reminder to, whenever possible, try and use the background to point and actively help sell the action of an image. A lot of times that takes very intentional designing of a said background, but especially if you're doing a comic where a lot of things happen in the same place, like this gym, it's an opportunity to make something really cohesive and sing in a unique way. Again, I really like these extreme angles here. I don't, at first I never did this. I've been trying to do this more. There's this panel of Jimmy playing drums in Murder Falcon where she's hitting a snare. She is, let's see. She's going like whack. Then the arm is kind of bent, it's way out. And I don't think I succeeded. I think actually it doesn't look very good. I don't know. But it's always bothered me. So, but this is why this is the kind of thing that I love, and this inspired me to do those kinds of things. Again, this is kind of a better example of the, I don't know what you want to call it, the speed lines all pointing to one character. It's so intense, right? Because you have the speed lines down here, they're and then same thing up here, but it's with the background. It's really unique, and I haven't seen this done before in comics so intentionally. And obviously not every building is going to have a ceiling like this, but even if it was like rafters or just including the background in this way, and it's stylized, this is stylized background, can really add a lot of stuff. So let's see. So I just wanted to show you that it's something that I've been excited about, and I now want to draw a scene, at least a scene with characters with playing ping pong. I think that would be pretty amazing. And there's these little, I couldn't find any specific panels, but there's these like panels of just the ball, just one ball, and it's in the air above the ping pong table, but there's these like multiple individual speech balloons that's going like puck, 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 puck. So, and each puck has a different, it's surrounded by a different speech balloon. So it's like this really intentional way of like using noise to help sell the action and dynamics of a scene. So I thought that was really cool. I don't think we have any questions from last week. Last week I did a commission. Let me check here. Let's see, some kind comments. Let's see, Aaron Osborne asks, thanks for sharing. Your art is awesome. Thank you, Aaron. And you're pretty cool yourself. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate that. Do you mind sharing what all those awesome Japanese markers you are using are? Keep up the good work, and thanks for great comics. Thank you, Aaron, for your support. It's really appreciated. Charles the Moore actually answered, looks like they're Pentel pocket brushes. And this is the Galactus commission, so the majority of what I was using there was a Pentel pocket brush pen. It is amazing. I just use the regular refills. I don't like put any fancy ink in them. I used to, but it kept gumming up the Pentel pocket brush. And actually, that's one of my specifically the Pentel pocket brush that I was using in this video. I can't stand because it's not all Pentel pocket brushes are made the same. Sometimes you get a good one, sometimes you get a bad one. So when I'm in the store and I need a new one, I'll buy like 3 or 4. And, one of them will usually be awesome. None of them are bad. They're just like some that are just really special. I know I sound like a crazy person. You can feel free to disagree with me, but I use that for the majority of my stuff, especially characters and figure work. I like to have them kind of pop out from the background, and because things can get kind of stale in my just the way that I've drawn things. If I start with a micron, a lot of times it will look a little too forced. So I will start with I've seen like a lot of artists will start with like a micron and get like the base down, and then they'll beef it up with brush lines. And I do the opposite. I start with brush, and then I add detail with micron, and I kind of like the almost awkward clash of styles that you get from like a more mechanical like micron and a very organic kind of loose brush quality that like a Pentel pocket brush will give you. And I like the Pentel pocket brush not only because it's easy. That's the biggest thing. It's easy. It's I can pop the cap on and off, and I'm the kind of artist that will like pop a I'll pop it on or pop it off, and I'll draw, I'll pop it back on, I'll grab a micron, and I'll just have multiple tools at the same time. I really do not like just having a brush and dipping and being very intentional, and I've tried to do that, and it doesn't fit with my style. I'm such a frenetic kind of artist, and you can see on these videos, I'm burning rubber. It's just the way I'm not consciously doing that. That's just the way I operate, just naturally. So Pentel pocket brush helps with that, and it's also I'm losing my train of thought here. So it's easy, and it's quick, and it's very flubbery. Like it doesn't have a very strong tip. So it forces you to make an organic line in a way that a lot of brushes, even like a Winsor Newton Series 7, will not. Like if you want that perfect, crisp, clean line with a Winsor Newton, you can get it. But you can also just do that with like a Kuretake brush pen, So when I do need that, which sometimes I might need for say like the curve of a car, or a motorcycle or something maybe more inorganic, I will totally use it because it's the perfect marriage of organic and technical. Like when using a brush pen like that, which has like a very tough, like flexible but stiff nib. But whenever doing anything organic, I really do try and use that brush pen, the Pentel pocket brush pen, and then add to it with like little minor details with the Micron. And that's just the way I like to do it. So there's no wrong way. It's just how I do it. But great question. And let's see. Is there any other questions? Did I spot an iced coffee from Dunkin'? Says PB. You did. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least 6 down here. I'm a very messy artist. George Crawford asks the same thing. What kind of brush pen are you using there? The Pentel ones I'm using just now don't seem to have as nice a flow of ink as that. They seem to go dry pretty quickly even when they're full. That might depend on the Pentel pocket brush you have. I mean, for me, like, I would think that's like a golden brush because I always think that the Pentel pocket brushes are too runny for me. One thing that that you might be doing is, when you use Pentel pocket brushes on like vellum, rough paper, they will the flow will be interrupted more easily. I would also say, George, just try and get another Pentel pocket brush pen. I bet you it'll be a little more runny. For those of you that struggle with the Pentel pocket brush being too runny, I've said this multiple times in other videos, but if you have just a regular old paper towel next to you, you can just dip the pocket brush in the paper towel for maybe 30 seconds or so and let the ink, kind of extra ink, spill out into the paper towel, and you'll be ready to go for another round of like a little more of a dry approach to the lines. And I'll do that when I just need to get like a face or some fingers down and I need a very controlled line. But for the most part, I'm just going, it's like clothing, clothing and our organic stuff, moving fast. It helps to have a brush with a fairly loaded tip on it. So, Jiu-Jitsuero, hope I'm saying that right. Thank you for this video. I love how you said you were having trouble finding references for the cockpit, but still knocked it out. I'm working on a commission now that requires a car at an awkward angle. I'm having trouble with it, but after seeing this, I'm determined to get it done. Awesome. I hope that it's working out for you. One thing that helps with awkward angles is I used to buy toys of cars and trucks and stuff if I had to draw them. But now I have an app on my iPad. It's the Google SketchUp app. So it's just like the SketchUp viewer. So you can't actually build things on the iPad with it, but you can view like the 3D library, and it works great for me because people will build these cars and X-Wings and AT walkers, whatever, and they'll just post them up for people to check out. So I look at them and you open them, and on the iPad you can like rotate them and get kind of the angle that you need and draw that. So I'll have it on my iPad over here, and I'll just draw with my eyes, by eye, over here. And it's great. It's kind of like having a digital toy that you can like spin around. So, highly recommend that. I know it's also for like iPhones and smartphones. So I actually have it on my iPhone, and I sometimes, if someone asks for something specific, like I remember somebody asked for I believe it's Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, like in the Challenger, like the Dodge Challenger. Like I had never drawn a Dodge Challenger before, especially the newer ones. So I looked it up and kind of got a sense of just, when you spin it a certain way, what does the shapes look like as you start rotating it, and interacting with with that piece of design in like almost real life, right? Because when you Google image something, like just with still images, a lot of times you don't get it's hard to figure out how to bring it to life and make it your own when it's so flat. So same thing with figure drawing. I don't usually draw from photos as practice because it just feels too flat for me. I'd much rather, this takes more time and it's more expensive obviously, but I'd much rather go to a figure drawing class or like a live figure drawing studio where you can just pay and then go and draw people for a while. Haven't done that in a long time though, and won't be doing it anytime soon, I guess, with the pandemic. So, okay, I'm gonna get back to it. Thank you for hanging out for a little bit. I'll try and be here next week, and still working on videos when I can. And I hope everybody's staying safe and feeling not too down. I've been feeling kind of down this week, but weekend's coming. Have a great rest of your day, and great rest of your week, and take care, everybody.